Good morning and welcome to another beautiful day, another opportunity to connect with ourselves in this space. So I invite you all to take that first breath as you are, inhaling through the nose, filling up that internal space, getting in touch with your environment. And then softly exhaling, relaxing the eyes, leaning back for support, and just monitoring your existence here. Inhaling again, this time committing to a little bit more stillness within. Relaxing some of the tension, loosening up. Noticing if you can quiet the mind here, and if that is available to you. And softly exhaling. And for this last intentional breath, placing the tongue on the roof of the mouth, inhaling through the nose, softly sealing your lips. Noticing how full you are feeling, and if there's room for just another sip of air to expand. And then softly exhale here. As we enter this meditation, this guided meditation, just notice if there's any way you can create a more supportive environment for yourself. So if you can sit comfortably, if you need a blanket or a hot drink, feel free to allow that into your space as we begin. And so just notice where you are today as the observer rather than the storyteller. If you had a conversation with your body and spoke the language of your body, which isn't words, but sensation. Notice what is available to you today. That inner fire. As you naturally inhale and exhale, the more comfortable we get in ourselves, the easier it is to breathe with ease. And take a moment to monitor the midsection of your body if you're collapsing into that space. And if there's any way you can extend the spine, and then softly lean back. So with the spine extended, then lean back and then relax the shoulders back. Notice if there's any curves, like in the lower back. And just envision yourself creating a straight spine from the back of the head all the way down to the hips and the sacrum. Notice what's available to you when you connect in this way. If it forces you to focus, and focus is a muscle we build. So just notice the sensations rather than what's coming up in your mind. Be with your body for a moment here. Notice if this adjustment created a stronger awareness. The energy that we feel or we have access to operates as a mirror in all of our organs, our glands, and our tissue. When we're able to align the body and sit straight, even with support, and be in this really focused position, we have access to a much higher depth. It's like HD, where the sensations that are going on around us are heightened. On Wednesday, I communicated, we were talking about feelings. We were talking about like feelings in story and creating stories out of our feelings rather than feeling our feelings. Feeling is really embodying what the sensation is, while the storytelling is more of a blame or defending rather than feeling. So then there was that other part of it, which is the positive. There is so much positive in our life, so much goodness. But when we aren't practicing a sense of presence and flow, being receptive, it is difficult to receive these beautiful gifts that are available to us. And it's much harder to live in this highly nutritious consciousness because it's too dense. And it's not because it's not available to us. It's a muscle we have to build. And just like it's an immune system. So just like, you know, there is tolerance and intolerance, the goal of life in general is to create more of a tolerance, create an immune system that can't be compromised easily. And the way that that is done is by how aware we are to what is going on around us. And there are different ways to tap into that. And one of those are through the body, which is the best tool of contacting your spirit and your soul and your mind just by straightening the posture, sitting up straight, noticing how you're feeling, softening the approach, and just being open to receive. So just like with food, there are very, very highly nutritious fruit and vegetables and superfoods. And sometimes for the ones of us that have that are new to, healthier diets and things like that, what ends up happening is that we have difficulty digesting healthier foods. So, you'll get gas or anything on that, or just like stomach cramps, because your body is finding it difficult. It doesn't have enough of the digestive enzymes to digest this real food. Doesn't mean that it's not good for you. It just means that we haven't built a strong enough body to be able to take it in. So the same thing works with mood and living a higher definition life, where everything around us is elevated and engaging in a way that helps us focus and connect, but also allows us to be the receiver of this goodness. For a lot of us, we struggle with, I don't deserve, I don't know how, I don't have place for so much goodness. Where do I put all of this blessing and abundance? Those approaches come from a place where we are struggling, where we are disconnected, the mind and the body. And when our immune system is compromised, and that's emotionally. But the beauty is that for everything, there's a few different angles. And every day we have a couple approaches. We have a spiritual approach, a physical approach, and a mental approach. And some days, one of those are more in the driver's seat than others. One thing that's always available to you in your body, which is one of the reasons the body is so valuable, is when we are connected to our bodies, we can access a support system and hold space for ourselves. One of the easiest ways to adjust a mood or something that might create challenge is just by adjusting the posture. Sitting up taller, softening those muscles, leaning the rib cage in, right? Tucking the rib cage, and then dropping the shoulders and the chin slightly. Creating stillness in the mind by having stillness of the mouth, right? Less talking as we begin to realign, and allow the body to hold that space for you. What happens then is we're able to get more oxygen into the body. The oxygen levels elevate, and then it helps increase the energy level as well from the trapped emotion. So by creating space, it's like, right, sitting up tall is like opening a window and letting in some new air. And sometimes that's all you need for that movement to happen. And the best way to practice is by just like when we lift weights, we can't lift it all at once. We build up to it. Notice what happens when you sit up tall and what that feels like to be fully connected. Allow your body to speak to you rather than the mind, and just, even if it feels a little overwhelming, tell yourself you're just going to try it for one more moment. And then that is available to increase daily. Part of why we struggle with this as well is there's so much attachment to everything that enters our life. But when we understand that things that enter our mind and body work like an inhale and an exhale, where there's the flow, there's the conversation, and one thing can't work without the other. So it's difficult to take another inhale if we haven't exhaled. It's difficult to consume if we haven't eliminated. Dark and light, one can't exist without the other. Or we can't understand the existence. Really, sorry, that's probably not accurate. But one, for our understanding, for our human understanding, when we have light, we can understand darkness, and then because of darkness, we can understand the contrast of light. And this works with everything else. Everything has opposites, east and west, stepping forward and stepping backward, following the process. So just notice if there is some conflict in your experience. And conflict is usually where the conversation begins. Sometimes we see it as conflict. But when we reconsider the approach and think about it as, rather than thinking of it as a negative, thinking of it as the nature of life itself, it can really, really help. As we do this kind of work, there's a lot of internal movement going on. We're investing in the instinct, in that maternal instinct, the intuition, and fine-tuning it. So that when we go out and we present ourselves outwardly in all the negotiations of the day, we are able to be guided by this inner compass. And that inner immunity that we have put in the work to do. When we start our morning right, when we begin with asking ourselves, how would I like to approach the day? even if it's just one tiny adjustment, what ends up happening is that becomes the narrative of the day. And I'll do this pretty often, where I'll commit to accepting whatever it is that needs to be accepted that day. Depending on what is going on, especially if I know that there is a challenge coming my way, I will say to myself something like, today, I'm going to approach everything from a calm space. Sometimes I'm going to just accept things for exactly what they are. Some days I will tell myself, today, no matter what happens, I'm going to be kind to myself. So take a moment here and notice if there is anything you can attach to your day that can be like a little gift to yourself, and it will show up whenever it shows up. It's not this thing that you have to keep on reminding yourself. It's an energy that you're embodying in yourself. Notice how it supports you, and notice where you feel it. And as you engage with your day today, you have permission to come back to this energy whenever you need. It will be available to you. Thank you so much for joining me today and this week on this wonderful journey. Thank you so much for being present in the meditations and in the movement. I am Esther Levy, your host, and this is a Ujjayi self-care meditation powered by Ujjayi Inc. Have a wonderful day.